And we are back with the last story today. This one is all about bid rigging, wage theft, and public works. So far, we've been talking about fraud with the public loans, but there's also a lot of abuse in public works contracts. And I actually have attended a few classes myself about government work, and I noticed on TikTok there are a few people teaching it as well. In 2025, a federal prosecutor charged a group of 5 Florida roofers in a bid rigging conspiracy. The roofers decided ahead of time who would win bids and who would lose on purpose. They did this on a mix of commercial and publicly funded jobs, schools, churches, apartments, even retail buildings. Closer to home in Minnesota, prosecutors charged Jose Manuel Herrera, the owner of Bay Vista Roofing. The investigation came after Bay Vista worked on a public housing project. Instead of paying crews, the wage set by the state, Herrera shorted them and paid in cash. Then he faked the payroll documents and lied about having workers' comp. We covered a different story in detail. So it's happening, unfortunately, when there is a money and opportunity to be made, and there is a room for corruption.
I mean, I'll tell you, I know Jose Herrera. I've met him. Like, my company had used him as a subcontractor. Many companies, companies you know the name of, used him as a subcontractor, and you would have never looked at him and you're a criminal and you're stealing money from the government, right? Like, it's like business owner trying to find an opportunity, took an opportunity, ran a little too far with it, right? And that's same as the bid. Fraud doesn't sound like fraud when you're committing fraud. Right, all those PPE loans, those people are like, it's free money from the government. You heard this, I'm sure, from other contracts time. It's free money. They're probably not even going to ask for it back. Why would you not take it? I had many people ask why I wasn't taking PPE loans, and I'm like, well, I don't want to deal with that way. That sounds like it's going to come back to bite people, and it did.
Is it because how it was advertised, do you think?
That people were taking it?
Yeah.
It could be. I think
it's take it. They wanted to assign it to you.
Yeah, it's like this. Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome. Right? The government is incentivized by giving away money. The government is a nonprofit organization. They're not allowed to be like, oh yeah, look at how great we did for our shareholders. The government's supposed to take a ton of money and give the money to the right causes. They're meant to allocate funds, and so for the government, they're like, how can we get hundreds and millions or billions of dollars to small businesses so we look like we're doing our job? And that is create an open door, pump this money out, and then be shocked when people, take it hand over fist.
My question is to both of you. Is it a real crime when we don't have a victim? Let me explain here, in the first one, because this one is tough, bid rigging. A lot of contractors say, well, we're not stealing. The school needs to be done. We're just finding out who else is bidding on it, and they're trying to influence. So instead of working an estimate, I'm like, hey, man, if you do the bid for 1.1 million, I'll do 1.2, you get the job. On the next one, I'll be $50,000 up, right? So they're not stealing, but it's definitely rigging.
I mean, fraud doesn't sound like fraud when you're doing it, right? What you just explained, I'm like, yeah, makes sense. You could do that. And then you get from a 30,000 foot view afterwards, and you're standing in front of a judge explaining, well, so we lied and we had a fake company that's never actually done a project, but we faked this document, this, that. Then you put all the layers together, and suddenly it sounds like you probably had this in school. You got in trouble for something that wasn't bad. I stood my ground. Then you're explaining, you're well, yeah, he pushed me, so I knocked him out. And then you're like, okay, it sounds bad now, right? That's what every single one of these people are dealing with is looking back and going, oof. Yeah, and I just think it was free money. Open door. People took it, didn't realize how bad it was what they were doing, because to your point, it was advertised as come get it, and then come around and find out.
I know people who got the leg up on competition and are firmly planted in their positions because of those PPP loans. I don't want to call them out by name, but they're people we all know, right? And and in a way, and I have no reason to believe they did it fraudulently. But it injected cash into their business that allowed them to almost have free growth, right? And so some people did do good things with it and created a lot of jobs during that time that weren't there previously. So they got almost free growth out of it. The bid rigging thing is interesting because I know a few government contractors, and they're usually pretty tight with the people in their markets, right? They all know each other. They do the bid walks together. These guys are introduced to each other on the site walks in many cases, and the government doesn't always know what they're bidding on. A good example is one guy told me one time that these procurement officers don't know what stuff costs all the time. And they use Gordian and RS Means and these other data providers, but they'll they won't know, like they'll look at the big line items, like they'll do a whole school, and they'll look at the tile cost. And so they'll bid the tile at like 2% margin because they know that that's the line they look at. But then they'll charge like 400% markup on the doors for like the separations for the bathrooms and stuff like that, because they don't know what that costs. They always underestimate how many walls there is in a space, and so then they kind of have like to play this game to win the bid. And then a lot of these guys talk to each other and just be like, I think that like if it was a $400,000 job, they bid at 1.1 and 1.2 to make it feel like that's bad. But I don't know how much they rigged it, right? But there's a lot of conversation that goes back and forth because they're also a lot of times having to navigate through like the suppliers, like what's going to be available, what are we going to get, so like what are we going to spec for this, because like what's on the ground.
I would say the
stuff
point
like
of
that.
capitalism is the supply and demand curve, obviously, but competition. Like having competition is what forces companies to be better and charge less. Those are the two main driving factors that make capitalism, like you said, the best option there is, because it forces betterment in every aspect. Price is lower, better quality. When you do bid rigging, you remove that. It removes the need to lower prices and be competitive, and it removes having more value than your competitors. And it actually it undermines what the country's built on, what the founding principles are of our economy. And that's where it's frustrating for me. It's like you can brag about, oh, I love capitalism, this is great, and then you do something like bid rigging, and it's like, okay, you just completely showed that you'd love to be socialist or, in a communist country or dictatorship and just be higher up in the ranks where you can commit fraud like this, right? Because this is how state contracts work.
The
And
thing about capitalism that's flawed, like, and again, it's the best system we have, and like, Lord, please let me move to America. But like, the problem that is surfaced is when the buyer is incompetent or overtly influenced, right? So if you have an incompetent buyer at the government, sometimes they'll buy the cheapest bid, but they won't know if it's the best bid. And then the government, this is where you get like the Hawaii SkyTrain that has been under construction for 20 years and is riddled with fraud, and they thought they did a good job, right? And then you see other projects like the Woolman Ice Rink that Trump did, where he got it done. They took them 6 years and spent 6 times the amount of money. He came in $300,000 under budget and like 3 months early. So, the government bidding process is broken
there's
because it's not capitalism.
there's no one yelling at the government when they screw up, right? Like, here's the thing I talked about earlier, like people could move out of the country and that would incentivize the US, like, oh crap, we need to get better. We're losing people quicker and we're getting them in. The next option below that is like, we need democracy beyond just the elected officials, right? Because imagine if you could vote for taxes to increase or decrease. Every single person would vote for them decrease. Why? Because the government's being wasteful and not doing it right. Like if we had a volunteer tax system where, hey, I just don't want to pay tax this year because I don't feel like you guys did your fair share. Obviously, everyone take advantage of it. It wouldn't work outside of on paper, but there's no one standing to the government saying like, hey, if you don't do better, I'm not going to pay you tax anymore. If you don't do better, I'm not going to allow you to keep doing this job, right? The government, same way I always talk about on insurance claims, is you don't get to, or the guy that owes you money doesn't get to tell you how much they owe you. Well, with the government, that's how it works. It's like they get to pick what their budget is, how much of your money they take, how much they need, and how much they give to who. There's no actual, like even in capitalism, or democracy, there's no restrictions or no one to really slap their hand when they do something terribly, terribly wrong.
Well, this is why Socrates was against democracy for all, because he said some people are too stupid to vote.
What do you think would happen to Herrera case if he stole $250,000 and it's not enough to ruin the reputation because, like you said, everybody knew the guy. Everybody was giving. What would happen if he actually paid people $68, $83 per hour instead of $120, $200 a day? He would have a line of people to work for him because he's paying a government wage, right? Like you have literal lines like, man, you got that contract, you got that job. You will never, ever have a labor problem because everybody wanted to work for you, right? And then on the right side, your reputation would be so good that everybody you will keep winning jobs. Now you have a wait list of people who wants to work for you, and you have a reputation in the industry that everybody wants to give you a job. You're going to keep winning jobs.
That's Capilli's strength out in Hawaii, right? Is that they do a lot of government work. and they do it right. They do it ethically, and they have Davis Bacon. They have to do certified payroll. Just the accounting system was a nightmare to build because sometimes their employees are working on regular wage, and like sometimes they work on Davis Bacon wage, and like QuickBooks payroll doesn't allow you to have two different wage rates assigned to an employee. So they had to go to ADP. Like it's a very complex thing to build too. And so, but like you're right, they do get a lot of employee retention because people want to not only work there, but get to work on the government jobs.
I would say to end on a high note, like every time we read a story of someone getting in trouble for doing something wrong, that is the bright side of democracy and capitalism working, right? Like this is showing, hey, these people did something wrong. We caught them. These are those checks and balances in place. So like as terrible as it is and how seeing all these people throughout all these stories getting, free money and stealing, it's like, hey, they got caught. They're going to be made an example out of. And now we're going to get better, hopefully, and learn from it. Because I think it has, right? A lot of the fraud that happened, 2008 probably won't happen again with the housing market, right? They've put regulations in place now. So I think it's this constant learning, and we're only a 250-year-old country, right? So I think we're moving the right direction. I do think there's a lot of good that comes from this stuff. It's just constantly plugging the holes in capitalism of all the spots people can steal money.
A 250-year-old country, but you have the longest standing constitution. Did you know that?
I'll take it.
Because you got the three co-equal branches. It's awesome.
Great point. Amazing point to finish the show today. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing How Drink with us today. We hope you will be joining us next week. Stay safe.